Hey guys, what is up? A very good morning and welcome to a new daily market outlook. So a little bit of a later outlook than I wanted to do. So I am planning on doing them at around 7 a.m. from now onwards, but I was a little bit tired due to the London trip yesterday, but everything went well and I am safe back in Paris. So starting off with the dollar as usual, the dollar has been moving in towards the downside as of yesterday after grabbing liquidity above this swing high. So after that, what we can very clearly see is that the overall order flow shifted pretty heavily. We can see every single time that we were breaking the highs, took liquidity above the major swing high, and then pretty much dumped in towards the downside, breaking the overall order flow and flipping pretty much into a bearish order flow over here on the 4-hour. So then what happens, this is your buy before the sell, market moves down, market moves back up in towards that zone, so in towards the buy from this body, in towards that wick, moves in and then moves down again. Then again, this is kind of like your buy before the sell doji candle, and that is where the market is currently at. So what I'm looking for today is pretty much, okay, we've moved in towards the extreme of the overall 4-hour swing range. If the market, let's say, reacts to this doji candle over here, to this area of supply, which broke pretty much this area of demand over here, then what I'll be looking for is, of course, for the downside. But if we break this high, then I'll be confident again because the bullish order flow will have returned, and we can then look, of course, for that 4-hour structure break. So remember, guys, today there is heavy news on the US dollar. What is going to happen? I do not know. All that I know is that I'm going to be waiting for Monday before getting into a new trade. I'll be waiting to see how we react on the dollar. That is going to be really dependent for my bias next week. Depends on how we close the day off. If we close above this high, then of course dollar bullish and then euro dollar shorts continued. But if we of course see a heavy reaction today to this area of supply in towards downside, then who knows, maybe longs on those dollar pairs. So I'm not going to say too much what I expect. All I know is that, okay, we're just following order flow. If this zone is respected for the downside, if this zone is broken and we break this high over here of around 104, then further upside is expected. Now going back in towards euro dollar absolute pip precision in towards that daily area of demand, as we can see, guys. So what I'm now looking for over here on euro dollar is, of course, a potential longs. At least that was what I was looking for. But then again, no clear area of demand created. Of course, down below over here, we have this 4-hour zone, which the market provided us with. But as we can see, we already tapped into that. For the rest, what of course is interesting, and let me just adjust this zone over here, is that we have a 4-hour pretty much break of the overall order flow. So we broke above this high, meaning that the bearish order flow did not sustain anymore. As you can clearly see, we had a hard time breaking it. Big wicks in towards downside every time that we were inside this buy before the sell. But apparently there was so much daily demand inside here that it did provide us with a significant reaction. Now, therefore, because there's no clear area of our demand, I'm not really looking for those longs which I mentioned in yesterday's video. So I'll just be keeping an eye on the sideline and waiting for Monday, because hopefully we can see kind of like a big shift in the market due to NFP. And then, for example, create a better area of demand from where we can then look for those potential longs. So that's pretty much it for euro dollar. I can, of course, provide a very extensive analysis, but that is pretty much it. Going in towards the daily real quick. Daily, of course, is still bearish fractal-wise, but you would preferably want to see a pullback, of course, at some point in time after seeing this break over here. We've tapped in towards this daily demand, so it would make sense to see some kind of pullback. Of course, we could move deeper in towards this area of daily demand. Also perfectly fine. Maybe NFP, for example, will just push price down in towards this kind of like final sell for the buy candle, and then, for example, wake up. Also a possibility. That's why I'm waiting for today to see what is going to happen. Real quick, going in towards the 15. Yeah, as we can see yesterday, again, let's say you have these areas of supply drawn on. Of course, we had this 15-minute area of supply, for example, or you just draw on this higher one over here. So then what you see is that the market reacts to this area of 50-minute supply, moves in towards downside, but then again, it comes in towards demand over here, which is broke kind of like this high. And then the market just reverses back up, but a lot of up and down movements, kind of rangy but impulsive at the same time. And that's just kind of like the market conditions that we are facing towards the end of the year. But for today, that is what I'm waiting for, guys. I'm going to be waiting and seeing what NFP does to the market. Now, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, of course, shot up in towards the highs, in towards this area of supply. Now stalling here. Yeah, overall, if we just quickly draw on, of course, our premium versus discount tool, what we can then see is that we pretty much pulled back in towards that 50% mark. Of course, I would have preferably wanted to see a little bit more downside. But yeah, we slowed down a little bit in this buy before the sell, but now we've broken pretty much the internal structure in towards the upside now. So I'm not too aggressive on the sells from here. As you can clearly see now, kind of like the order flow shifted bullish in some sense. So at the moment, I'll just be keeping my eyes out. Same as euro dollar, just wait for the market to do its thing. This is kind of now your demand zone. So let's see what NFP does to the market, but keep an eye on this sell for the buy because the market could react up higher from there. So because of course the 4 hour is still swing bullish. So keep that in mind. Now moving on in towards pound dollar. So pound dollar is actually kind of like a dark horse in that sense, where the overall order flow did actually sustain. So every single time we had that buy before the sell, and then buy, of course, back up in towards that buy before the sell, and now reacting beautifully bearish at the moment. So yes, still expecting that potential for the downside, of course, once pushed in towards this imbalance candle over here with the 4 hours still being bullish. Yeah, it was pretty obvious, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, that we were going to see kind of like a bullish reaction. But then for longs to kind of like take place for myself, we need to break this high over here and then look for those longs, inside the demand zone that is then created. But for now, it's looking like pound dollar still just wants to move into towards the downside until we pretty much break these highs over here. So that's pound dollar. Just keep on looking for shorts. But then again, going in towards 15, there's no real clear area of demand, guys. It's just range. Again, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So yeah, it's a bit of a complicated market, but that's why we're waiting for NFP to give us clarity, and that's why we're going to be trading on Monday once again. Kiwi dollar, went in towards the upside, broke this area of supply over here, this buy before the sell. So broke the highs, and now you could start looking for those potential longs. Looking at the 15-minute over here, there are quite a few 15-minute areas of demand. So just very basic structure, something like this, and then what you could look for is a long from, let's say, this area of demand over here, this area of demand over here. So yeah, there's a lot of areas of demand which are still fresh from where you could look for those potential longs, kind of like this corrective descending price action. So let's keep an eye out. But again, NFP, guys, so I'm not going to be too aggressive on the trades today. But yeah, just looking at Kiwi dollar overall from a 4 hour perspective, on the 4 hour, then you can clearly see, okay, liquidated the lows, tapped in towards demand, never broke this low, so it didn't really flip swing bearish. Because of course this is your 4 hour BOS, so swing low is, let me see, yeah, so this is your swing low over here, this low, never closed below it, as far as I can see. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, it's never closed below it, so still swing bullish. Now kind of like the internal structure broke on Kiwi dollar over here, so yeah, you could still look for those longs in towards the upside. So let's see what happens to Kiwi dollar and then act on that on Monday. And gold, guys, gold is waiting for NFP. Gold is waiting for a massive blow in towards the highs or in towards lows, consolidation. So just don't trade it, guys. Don't burn your hands on this. So yeah, bit of a slow market, just waiting for NFP, guys, so not too much to update. We'll be doing a backtesting session later with the exact trade entries that I also take in the live market, so make sure to join the Discord, link in the description down below. Wish you all a fantastic day and speak very, very soon. Thanks, guys.